Q Country 102.9 presents Roos Day Tuesday, a weekly discussion with SUNY Canton men's basketball head coach Ben Thompson, giving you the inside scoop on all things SUNY Canton basketball. Q Country 102.9, it's Roos Day Tuesday, so you know what that means. I've got the head coach of SUNY Canton men's basketball team, Ben Thompson, joining me in the studio. We're talking about the SUNY Canton men's basketball team's season, what they have coming up, and boy, we have a lot coming up. They're in a new conference this year. 5 games into the season, still have not played a conference game, and also have not traveled outside of Canton for an away game. But this Friday and Saturday, all that changes. Back-to-back games against a conference opponent, Thomas College, at their home court located in Maine. Ben, what are some of the challenges that you face going into this weekend's conference matchup?
Yeah, I think travel's a big piece of it.
What's the travel time?
So it'll be a little over 8 hours for this trip.
Okay.
So navigating that, thankfully we get to leave Thursday. Thomas is really good. We were predicted to finish third, and they were predicted to finish fourth, right behind us. And so I think it's a good test early. The conference kind of does 2 conference games early. Most conference schedules are in the spring at the end of your year. But we've got 2 ones early here before we get back into non-conference. And so it'll be a good kind of early season test to kind of see where we're at amongst the other teams in the conference. And that's why we play such a difficult non-conference schedule to kind of prepare us for those games.
Okay, so the conference that you're in now is the NAC.
Yeah.
This really, it's new to you. What are your thoughts? I mean, have you ever played Thomas College before? What do you know about them?
No, we haven't. The only team in the conference that we've played is UMPI, Maine Presque Isle. Mm-hmm. And so just watching them on film, I mean, they're good. So it's going to be a challenge for us. It'll be a neat deal for our guys, kind of going through the conference slate for the first time. And I mean, we had a conference prior, but there was no automatic bid at the end of the season. So we won the conference championship 2 years ago, but didn't get to go to the NCAA tournament. So this is a different challenge, and the guys know what's at stake.
So with this conference, when it comes down to the end of the season, how many teams are in the conference, and what teams advance how many, and you get home field advantage if you're the top seed? Or
Yep, so there's 8 schools in the league, and so kind of how it works, the top team gets to host the conference at the end of the year in the conference standings. The top team gets to host, and then the top and the second team get a bye through the quarterfinals, so they don't have to play.
Okay.
So then the 6 seed travels to the 3 seed, the 5 seed travels to the 4 seed. So 1 and 2 get a bye, 3 and 4 host the first round, 5 and 6 travel.
And seeding is based entirely off
standings. Just conference.
With conference? Okay, so these conference games mean more to you than the other games,
correct? Yes.
I mean, obviously you want to treat every game as it's, that's what's important, but these conference game, a lot riding on it, and so that's, a big challenge, your first conference game of the season in a new conference, and it's a pretty sizable distance that you have to travel. So what are you telling your guys this week in practice before those games against Thomas College this Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, with the conference stuff, we're just taking it one weekend at a time. It's kind of its own 2-game little tournament. And so I think that it's going to help prepare us for the conference tournament because our goals are to win the league and go to the NCAA tournament. Well, the conference semifinals and championship are on Friday, Saturday. So I think playing these Friday, Saturday games back-to-back are going to help develop us to kind of be used to that type of atmosphere and that type of scenario. And so I think it'll be good preparation for the conference tournament later on.
This SUNY Canton's first conference competition this season. When we come back, we'll be talking about how they're wrapping up their season. They've got a strong competition and a strong slate of games that are all conference. The last 12 games of the seasons are conference games. We'll talk about that when we return for Roos Day Tuesday. Q Country 102.9 presents Roos Day Tuesday, a weekly discussion with SUNY Canton men's basketball head coach Ben Thompson, giving you the inside scoop on all things SUNY Canton basketball. All right, we're back here for Roos Day Tuesday. Coach Ben Thompson of SUNY Canton men's basketball team in the studio with me. We're talking about the new conference that SUNY Canton is in this season, NAC conference, and you said that seeding based entirely off standings, how you finish against these conference teams. Now, your season right now, you haven't played anyone. Your first conference competition coming this Friday and Saturday against Thomas College in Maine. But looking ahead at your season, you finished the season with 12 games in the conference. And each of these opponents you play back-to-back because you're so far away from everyone. Playing these teams back-to-back, is that an advantage or a disadvantage for you?
Yeah, so we open this weekend, and I kind of like that they do 2 conference games early because it kind of gives you a little early test and kind of gives you an opportunity to see where you're at. And then there's some more non-conference games sandwiched in between where you can kind of tweak and work on things before you get heavy into the conference slate again. I think that playing Friday, Saturday is an advantage to us.
Yeah, and now I should note this, that not every team in the conference does this. Actually, you're the only team that does this, plays the same opponent back-to-back as you play each team twice. Most of the other opponents will play their opponent, a couple weeks separating those two.
It's normally Wednesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Saturday. There are a couple, but us, we are the only ones that get to do it every weekend. And I think it's an advantage for us. Because by the time we get to the conference tournament, hopefully the semifinals and the finals, we've already done this 7 times, and so I think that it'll help our team in the long run. Win or lose, we got to figure out what we did well, what we didn't do well. The psychology of it is going to be interesting because whenever you play Friday, Saturday, like last year we did it twice. We did it with Umpy and Pine Manor, and we won the first game and lost the second game. So the psychology of it is interesting, playing back-to-back like that. Sometimes with teams, if you win the first day, they can kind of relax and be like, oh, we got this, for the next day. Or if you lose the first day, you're like, man, we can't leave here 0-2 or whatever. So the psychology is going to be interesting. And I'll have to kind of read our guys and kind of see how they handle that first night. But, I think it's something that we're excited about and that we're looking forward to handling.
Yeah, I think one of the underrated things is you have no time to practice between meeting that opponent again as you meet them the next night. So let's say they come out game 1 and they show you a totally different look than what you were expecting. What do you tell you? Is that like a hotel situation where you say, this is what they did, this is what we got to do? Or do you find yourself on the court practicing and trying to get new stuff between the 2 games?
Yeah, the game on Saturday is kind of earlier in the day. I want to say it's 1 or 1:30, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want to get the guys up early on Saturday morning to do a shoot around, even though we'll do it on Friday. So a lot of our prep work will be in the hotel. So Friday night, win or lose, we're going to come back and we may watch stuff from that game that we did well or didn't do well and watch the clips. Most of that prep work is done in the hotels. At other places I've been, at like Virginia Tech and some other places, Lincoln Memorial, we would use like medical tape and we'd put up like this kind of just small version of a half court in the hotel room. And walk through stuff. Like we'd come up with just like a little paper ball or something and use that for the ball. And, it's a tight space, but it gets guys up on their feet and they kind of walk through the sets and how other people run stuff and how we're going to guard it. So that's kind of an interesting way that I've done it in the past and probably something that we'll do here.
So definitely a tough upcoming weekend, whatever happens mentally and physically, challenges on both ends. And I wish you the best of luck there as SUNY Canton men's basketball team will take on Thomas College this Friday and Saturday. They'll return and play a home game next Tuesday against SUNY Potsdam. That game will be played in the Roos house, and we'll be able to talk about that more next Tuesday on Roos Day Tuesday. Ben, thank you as always for coming into the studio, and I wish you best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Tuesday.
Thanks so much. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Go Roos!